What's up, Metal Summoners? As always, it is super great to see you guys. We're kicking off your weekend in the middle of the week, and welcome back, as always, to your Island of Misfit Toys. It's myself, it's Angel. We are all about great conversation, great people, building the music scene, and just having an overall great time. And you, Metal Summoners, are a huge, if not the biggest part and reason for the show's continued success. So we're going to get a little bit horrific with you guys tonight. We're going to get a little creepy. It's going to be a really, really good time as we've got Seglock joining us right now. We've got Silas von Hammerfuck II joining us right now. First and foremost, on Silas, thanks you so much for coming on, man. It was killer time hanging out a couple of weeks ago. First and foremost, man, welcome to the Metal Summit, and thank you for some of your time this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I mean, this is fucking great, man. Like, I really appreciate you bringing me on board for this. It's Sithis, by the way. But
sorry, brother. Sithis. I knew if I wasn't getting it, I would get corrected. So, Sithis, thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate it. Me and Angel are looking forward to a great time, man. So why don't we jump into it? For any of the Metal Summoners who are unfamiliar, talk a little bit about Seglock, how it got together, and give us a little bit of what you guys do.
I mean, so Seglock started out as a two-piece band, and we weren't quite sure what kind of music we wanted to make. Obviously something heavy. Me and the drummer, we'd known each other since about high school age, but we had tried making doing like some black metal stuff, some melodic death metal stuff here and there over the years, and it never took off. And then back right about 6 years ago, I want to say like beginning of April of 2019, we had gotten in contact. We kind of lost contact for a few years, and it's like, hey, let's jam and see what we can come up with. And at that point, it was just two guys in a basement experimenting. And some of the punky stuff started coming out, and it was fun to play. But it's like, all right, well, we're all about the horror movies. We're all about like the horror punk scene and stuff. Let's see what we can do with the horror punk stuff. And it just kind of spiraled from there. And instead of like sticking to what we thought a horror punk band should sound like, it was more like, all right, well, we're metalheads. We like black metal, power metal, Viking metal, folk metal, all that stuff. Let's try to incorporate that into what we're doing here. And what you've heard so far has been the result of that.
Absolutely, man, for sure. And last time I saw you was a couple weeks ago. You played American Legion with Sonic Creep's kind of return show. The Jasons were on that bill. Go On Red. It was a really good lineup. It was a very, very tight-knit community, and it was overall a good time. And when it comes to the horror punk scene, things like that, in a kind of a niche market, it's a very beloved fandom when it comes to that market, but it still has a little bit of its niche kind of like cult following style. But when you play shows like that are very about the community and about strength and a good time, like, what is it about those shows that not only speak to you as you wanting to play on them, but what do you get out of those shows as well?
Well, I feel like, it all depends on what crowd you're playing for too, because like I've noticed with certain crowds, certain shows, you always have like, a bunch of guys just standing in the back, cross-arm, mean mugging, waiting for you to finish up. But then with the horror punk scene, it's like, it doesn't matter what band you're in. If you're bringing like the energy to the stage and stuff, everybody's going to be moshing. Everybody's going to be having a good time, and nobody's shitting on each other. Like I've encountered little to no elitism or anything like that in this community. So I mean, that's why I wanted to stick with it.
Absolutely, for sure, man. When it comes to the band's name, where did Seglock come from?
The reality of it, it's not as profound as you would think. You know how like every small town has some area on the outskirts, usually in the woods or something, where people go to when you're in high school and stuff. It's where you go to do things that you can't get away with doing at home. So in our case, Seglock is actually the name of a road that goes through the forest. It's an unpaved gravel road outside of my hometown where we would go to smoke weed.
Right on.
And that was it. Like, when we were growing up, that's where you would go. Go and smoke, maybe a tent, campfire up. Nobody's going to find you out there. Yeah. And, the road also has a history of, there have been 2 murders on record out there. There's been over the years like some kind of like cult activity. I can attest to the fact that the woods definitely have some kind of paranormal stuff going on in there, so that just kind of adds to the spooky factor, I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And one more thing from me before I kick it up to Angel and let him take it away. When it comes
Yep.
to Seglock on stage and the performances that you and your mates give, and it comes to crafting a show, when bands are coming together, you have bands that, are very good at what they do, but don't necessarily have a presentation that kind of works for what they do versus other bands that really take time and thought into a presentation. Seglock definitely has a presentation, has a look that comes with it, and a showmanship to it. What was it about when it became time outside of just being a two-piece, of course, growing as a band and performing on stage in front of people? What was it that was in your mind about knowing you wanted to have a presentation to give back to the people spending their money to see you?
Well, I mean, my whole thing is like, if I'm paying to see a show, even if I'm not paying to see a show, if I'm just going to see a show, I don't want to see people just standing there playing their instruments. I like being able to run around. I like being able to interact with the crowd. And, especially like when we were first getting this whole thing started, I'd be watching a lot of live videos of bands that I enjoy, like Ailstorm, Scottish pirate metal band. Perfect example. The way Chris Bowes is able to kind of fuck with the crowd, but get them all hyped up and stuff. And like, I'm looking at it, it's like, that's what I want to do. So, I mean, I like being able to just bring that energy to the stage to completely let loose, to get everybody out there in the crowd who took time out of their day to come see us and rock out with us. I want them to enjoy themselves just as much as we're enjoying ourselves up on stage.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 100%. Angel, my man, let's kick it over to you, my friend.
Oh man, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro.
Wow, we got fan questions already. Where's the band from?
We're from all over Central PA. I mean, we started out in Lancaster County, and we've had lineup changes over the years. We have a good lineup now. We've had this consistent lineup for a little over a year now. But we got two of our guys are in Lancaster area. I'm in York area, and our guitarist is up in Harrisburg. That's where we practice up at his house.
Ryan wants to know, is that a PBR or a White Claw?
That is a PBR, but those of you who've been around for a while know I'm notorious for slamming White Claws on stage. But I've been on a PBR kick lately.
You know what? That beer looks very familiar.
Does it?
I did a beer shotgun with DK from Kickin' Valentina.
Oh yeah.
That same.
I mean, if you're gonna shotgun a beer, this is the way to go.
Yeah, you got to do beer shotguns.
It just sucks because like I gotta lift up the mask every time I want to take a swig of it.
Right.
All right.
Being a musician.
Sorry, your audio cut out there for a second. Sorry. Could you repeat that?
What do you like the best about being a musician?
Honestly, just being able to create something that other people enjoy, but it's also like I like being able to make noise. I'm a generally quiet, laid back person. I like to be able to write songs that are fun to play and fun to headbang to and mosh to, that type of stuff. And usually throw a little bit of the comedic stuff into the songs too, because it's like you can make people headbang, you can make people mosh, but if you're able to get them to laugh while you're doing it, that's even better.
Awesome. So you're gonna be performing at Bar 13. Has the band ever performed there before?
Oh yeah. We played Bar 13 probably. Shit, I can't even count how many times. We're down there. I'd say we probably played there about 6-7 times by now.
Just out of curiosity, has the band ever gone to the taco place next door?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, that place is the shit. You want good Mexican food? I would highly recommend that place next door.
Love music. Thanks for joining us. Have you guys ever played? I know you're in not Central Jersey. Fuck. Central Pennsylvania. My apologies.
You're good.
Far away from that part. Have you guys ever played like in the Pittsburgh area?
Not yet. Not yet. It's on the list. We would like to because we got a couple friends bands out there, and you know they've come out here to play with us. It's just a matter of us getting out there to play with them now.
Awesome. I'm definitely trying to head out to that area. Just to see
It's about a 4-hour drive for me, but we'll see what the next couple months bring.
It's like about a 7-hour drive, but Jay and I, guys, we travel all over to see shows. So.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Seglock playing in Monroeville, all George Romero land like. Sounds like a match.
You know, we actually when was that? I want to say last summer. I went out to Monroeville. I went to that Living Dead Museum they got out there.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like right there in that mall because I was hanging out with the guys from Dichotomy. Awesome band. Check them out if you get a chance. They are some great dudes. But no, they took me to this Living Dead Museum, and it's like you got all the props from all the old zombie flicks in there. They had the original front of the tool shed from Evil Dead 2 in there on display. I mean, an awesome place, man.
Yeah, dude. Megan and I stayed with some friends at the Buffalo Bill House, which isn't too far from there because they turned the Silence of the Lambs Buffalo Bill House into a bed and breakfast. So we
really,
yeah, dude. So our friend,
that's
like,
cool.
It's so cool, dude. So Megan and I become friends with the guy Chris that owns the house, and yeah, it's a bed and breakfast now, very similar to what they did to the Lizzie Borden house. But yeah, it's barely an hour from the Monroeville Mall. So on one of the days that me, Megan, and our friends, stayed over, we drove out to the Monroeville Mall to do just that, go to the Living Dead Museum, and yeah, dude, that place is sick.
Yeah, I mean, does it still have like the hole in the basement?
So that was actually, yes. So what? But the thing with that is that was actually on a sound stage when they did the movie. But they hired Tom Savini's School of Special Effects and had a well built into the basement. So there is a well with a basket with lotion and a little like stuffed precious that you can take photos in.
See, I'm actually trying to do that like right here in this corner somewhere eventually.
Is put a well?
Dude, what? Jay, why is lotion a part of it?
Put the lotion on its skin, brother.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can do with lotion, man.
That is so true.
Don't make Sith.
I want to get demonetized here, though.
Yeah. He's gonna give you the hose again, Angel.
Oh yeah.
Well, that will be
just put it in the basket. Nobody's gonna get the hose. We'll be all right.
Hey, if we could get a lotion company to sponsor a show, that's awesome.
Oh,
I mean, that would be sick.
That would be.
I mean, that's a realistic goal to shoot for, I think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Angel. I was like, Angel, you are the eroticon guy, so that might be the exoticon.
Yes,
the exoticon guy. That might be up your alley.
Oh man, you just let the cat out of the bag.
Well, then shove it back in.
That's all right.
Make sure you use plenty of lotion.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Right back to you, bud.
They do have lotion at the convenience store. Do I need to Photoshop Angel in the well again? Yeah, you do.
Do it. Oh shit, is that Brian? Fuck yeah.
And of course, Brian has another intellectual question. Outside of Seglock's wheelhouse, what songs would you like to cover?
So it's funny you ask because we're actually we're working on cover, working on recording it and stuff as we speak. I'm not going to get too much into detail, but we have been experimenting with some different styles of music. But we are working on a cover of Valhalla Calling by Miracle of Sound.
Nice.
So doing a Viking song, man. But obviously speeding it up, making it heavier, and doing it the way we want to do it.
So when it comes to performing, do you prefer to play? Do you prefer to headline the middle of the lineup, or you prefer to open the show?
I prefer the middle of the lineup just because one, I'm getting old. After like 10, 11 at night, I don't have it in me anymore. I you know, can't keep going. But no, usually it's like I like having at least one or two bands coming on first to get everybody hyped up. Then by the time we get on, everybody's got a good buzz going. They've had a few drinks, and the drunker they are, the better we sound. So I think middle of the lineup is the way to go. I mean, I always have the most fun, and then it's like when we do headline, it's great and all, but I noticed that like crowd sizes also get a little smaller at that time in the night. So I'm all right with not headlining. To be honest with you.
No, because I had this conversation with a band that headlines a lot, and they were like, yeah, the middle, we don't mind doing that sometimes, especially at festivals. Because I
Right.
guess
I mean,
you
I think it really all depends on the crowd and who the crowd is there to see specifically. So, I mean, it can go either way.
Yeah. Sorry, Angel. I got to jump in real quick. Yo, dude, right on cue. Nikki Casket. What's up, buddy?
Nikki, my fucking dude.
Nikki, good to see you too, buddy. Thank you
Hell
for coming in and
fucking
support,
yes.
bud. We were
I
talking
really
about
hope
it
you
off
got
the
beer in your
air,
hand,
but
dude.
yeah, I'm gonna see you in a couple of weeks, buddy. I'm gonna come out to Bar 13 to see you with Evelyn's Casket, bud. Thank you so much for rocking out with us. Right back to you,
We're
Angel.
gonna fucking party that weekend, dude.
well, we were thinking the same thing, Jay. So I guess it's right back up to you.
No worries, dude. Absolutely, for sure. So, dude, one of the things I wanted to ask you, because something that I noticed, our bud Brian had sent me one of the photos he took of you when you played Hellaware.
That's actually on my wall.
When I was
Right
promoting the there it is. When I was
Yep.
when I was promoting your appearance again tonight, and I noticed something about one of your guitars that spoke to me, dude. Are you a Murder
Oh
Dolls
yeah.
fan?
Big time Murder Dolls fan. That's actually what got me into horror punk, and got me into specifically learning how to play horror punk. So, yeah,
Nice,
huge Murder Dolls fan.
Oh no, that's awesome, bro, for sure. Like, yeah, I've got it right on the back of my arm, dude. I've got the crossed. I mean, it's on the back here, but I've also got the crossed shovels with the 13 on the inside of my arm. I've probably got like 4 different stuff for Wednesday because I'm like an old school like Maniac Spider Trash guy.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Absolutely. I actually Angel and I had Abby Normal on the show probably about 3 months ago.
Yeah, we played with him in Graveyard Boulevard. I want to say 2 summers ago.
Nice.
Yeah, super cool guy. He came up to me. I guess he recognized me, but then he bought me a shot of Jameson. I'm like, all right, this is happening. Fuck yeah,
yes.
I'm all right with that.
dude, he's super cool.
Yeah, super fucking cool guy.
Sent me this bomb care package, dude. Like I ordered because like Angel and I, it's no different than when you and I were talking at the show. Like we're merch people, dude. We're about supporting bands, and we love getting stuff to wear and rock and all that kind of stuff. So I had ordered.
I'm the same way, man.
Yeah, dude. I had ordered one of Graveyard Boulevard's albums that I didn't have yet, and I couldn't make up my mind on of which of these 2 shirts I liked more, so I got them both. But this box that showed up at my door from him had like posters and fucking CDs and like all this shit.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, Abby, you are out of your mind, bro, but thank you. But it was super duper awesome. Actually, speaking of Nikki, he did the exact same thing. I ordered some stuff from some 5 Cent Freak Show stuff, and he was so courteous and sent me a cool little box of some.
Oh yeah. No, he always hooks people up. I try to do the same too. People order merch from us. It's like, yeah, make sure you get a little extra. But no, I remember because I had originally hit Nikki up. I wanted, I think I just wanted a patch and a CD. And I put my order in, and he's like, what size T-shirt do you wear? I'm like, no, I didn't order a T-shirt. He's like, that's not what I asked. What size T-shirt do you wear? I'm like, all right, you're good in my book, dude.
That's so funny that he said that too, because just because I say stuff like that as well, where I'll be like, that wasn't the question.
Yeah.
But dude, I think that's like super duper awesome, man. Like, are you so next week is when they're actually playing in Towson. But are you gonna catch Wednesday on this current tour that he's on right now?
It really all depends on finances.
Sure.
You know, right now it's just one of those situations where it's like I don't have a whole lot of extra time or money to be going out, especially traveling. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's all entirely up in the air. I'm really trying to go to the Calabrese show that's coming up.
Hell yeah.
So we'll see. I'm a little irritated though because I guess this past Saturday we had who was it? Ensiferum and Corpaclani came through my neck of the woods, and I missed that one.
Oh no.
Yeah, which I mean, I haven't seen Corpaclani since like 2012, so that would have been sick. I've seen Ensiferum, let's say 2018 was the last time I saw them. But yeah, we'll catch them next time, you know.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, yeah, I caught the last time I caught. So like Megan and I actually met at a Wednesday 13 show, which was awesome, and we traveled up into PA to Mickey's Black Box when they did their all Murder Dolls set tour that they did over the last couple of years.
I still haven't been to Mickey's yet.
Oh really?
Yep. It's kind of funny because like the town I grew up in, Ephrata, is all of 10, 15 minutes away from there. But yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to make it out there yet.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, that place was cool. It's definitely in the title. I mean, we were trying to find the building, and then sure enough, just kind of in the lot, we sort of see it, and we're like, it literally is a big black box.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's in the Rock Lidditz complex, isn't it?
Yeah. So, hey, Angel, do me a favor. Put up Johnny's comment real quick. I got something for him to see. Let's see if I can.
Oh, dude, for real? Damn, Johnny, you are the fucking man. Thank you so fucking much, dude.
So it looks like
that means so fucking much to me, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
holy shit! Thank you.
Looks like you got plans on May 5th.
yeah, I guess so. I'll let the wife know. I know she wants to go too. So
yeah, no, absolutely, man. So that'll definitely be a good one, man, for sure. So this, when it comes to putting together the seglock, like you said, like other bands, there's growing pains, there's the lineups that happen and things like that. There's always the standards that people understand and are kind of come without saying when it comes to bands coming together. Communicating, chemistry, travel. What would you say are some of the things though that you look at in the people that you want in your band, that that while of course those standards have to apply as well, is there anything in particular that you need for like your own mentality to know, hey, this is going to work, I can work with this, and things I can tolerate, outside of course the standards of being in a band with someone?
Well, I mean, the main thing is like if you're going to be in my band, just be a good person. That's the thing. And right now, the guys in the band right now, they are just generally great human beings. I have nothing bad to say about any of them. And, they're phenomenal musicians. Like every single one of them is more talented than I would consider myself, actually. But, no, I've been told I'm hard to work with, but at the same time, it's like, just, play the songs, contribute to the writing process, and we all just get along. And the main thing is like, I don't want to treat this like work. I want to treat this like we're here to have fun. We're here to do this as an escape from working every day. So, and I think this current lineup, we all get along pretty fucking good, I think. So,
nice. Yeah, people that I was meeting and talking with at the show were also just incredibly complimentary of just the show that your bandmates were putting on. They all just did so well, not only of course playing their parts in the orchestra, but also, owning their areas of the stage, Like myself, being like a bass guy, I'm very critical of what I call statuesque bass players because they drive me absolutely batty. Because of course you've got the certain amount of territory and attention that is going to get owned by the singer. Same with like people like the lead guitar players and stuff like that. And I always go a little nutty whenever I see like bass players that just kind of statue it up. And I'm like, guys, you're allowed to be a thing too, you know?
Right.
You know, obviously you don't want to get in each other's way, but you don't have to just like stand back and take it on the chin either, you know, like you.
Right. And see, I'm tied to a mic stand for most of this set. So like, I'm really hoping everybody on either side of me is moving around a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing like a microphone to be able to move around since you do play? Is that ever something?
Backstreet Boys, like, come on, man. No, dude, like, all right. So look, this right here is a Shure Super 55.
Yeah.
And I like having this thing in front of me. I mean, yeah, there's a couple songs where I don't play guitar on them, so I'm able to pick that up and run around. But I can't see myself putting on a headset, you know, especially because now we're experimenting with in-ear monitors.
Sure.
So it's like I don't want to have too much stuff on my head. I'm already like, by the end of our set, this thing here is killing me.
Yeah.
Like the amount of sweat that just pours into my eyes and everything when we play. It's I don't need more stuff strapped to my head.
No, I totally get it, brother. No, it's funny because my side show outside of TMS is a show that's dedicated to horror movies, and we're gonna get into some of that fun in a little bit while you're on this show as well. But the side show, my co-host Ron, since we both stay in our respective personalities of a vampire and a devil, he's a mask guy as well, and so he's always covered, you know, with his hood and his mask for everything that he does. But it's that same kind of thing as well, where like if we have episodes, whether it be an interview with somebody or just a discussion or a debate that we're having that gets long-winded because it kind of has to be, man, by the time we click off the camera or click off the recorder and whatnot, that thing's like the bouquet at a wedding, man. That thing is just gone.
Well, and you see, like, it wasn't originally like this because I don't know if you've seen any of our old stuff, but I used to do corpse paint, like,
yes,
you know, old school black metal corpse paint. And at the time, like, my head was shaved, so I would have to paint my entire head. And yeah, it was fun and all for the first 5 or 6 shows we played. But then it gets to the point where it's like, God damn it, you know, it's fucking 3 a.m. I'm drunk. I want to go to bed, and I have to spend an hour or so just cleaning all this shit off of me.
Right.
And I'm like, nope. So then, hey, there's Abby Normal.
There he is. What's up, bro? Abby, thank you so much, man, for coming on and hanging, dude. Great to see you.
Yeah, but anyway, it got to the point where it's like, I don't feel like cleaning this shit up. And it's like, all right, if I get a mask, all I have to do is black out around my eyes and, you know, take a makeup wipe and clean it off at the end of the night, and boom, we're good. So I got Ivan King. He's a mask maker out of Italy. He did the masks for War Kings. They're a Swedish power metal band. Check them out if you get a chance.
Yeah.
But, you know, I commissioned him to make this one for me, and also great dude. But I mean, I'm happy with how it turned out. I did the paint job on it, added like the mohawk and all that stuff. But yeah, this is just way easier than having to clean my face off at the end of the night.
It's crazy, bro. There's a band I love to death called Vampires Everywhere. I've been a big fan of those guys for a really long time, and gotten to know them a bit over the years as well. But they're one of those bands that's like the full like black paint, like hands up to neck, and I'm just like, wow, that's a commitment. Not only with whatever it is you're spending at Home Depot, but just like you said, brother, the time it's going to take at the end of the night to not wake up in a bed full of paint, like.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, depending on the show, if I know it's going to be like a big show, good production, all that stuff, I will actually paint up, you know, my entire arms, like everything, my neck, all that stuff. But I mean,
sure,
it also depends on the show. And if it's in the middle of summer when it's already 100 degrees outside, no, I'm doing this. I'm blacking out my eyes. I might run some stuff down the sides here, and that's the extent of it.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man, for sure. So, I mean, so like, exactly, like the right show, the right, you know, aesthetic, like That's definitely something that you can handle something like that. So having a little bit of fun, like I said, with obviously the horror punk scene, horror movies come into play when it comes to that. What got you into horror movies, and like what are some of your favorites? Are you like a campy kind of horror guy, like Evil Dead and things of that, or did you grow up on like 80s Psycho Slash? Like, talk a little bit about your preferred horror movies, brother.
I'm campy all the way, and I love horror comedies, and I like horror movies that the movie itself knows that it's bad, so it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example, Jason X, Jason 10, whatever you want to call it, where they're in fucking space on a fucking spaceship and Jason comes back as a cyborg. That right there is like one of the greatest fucking horror movies ever made. Mm-hmm. And I will die on this hill even if I have to die on this hill alone.
Oh, dude, I was having a conversation today with somebody about the frozen face smash kill is my favorite kill.
The sink full of liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
In the entire Jason like franchise. Like when it comes to like 80s villains, like the slasher style, I'm a Jason Voorhees guy and a Pinhead guy. Like Friday the 13th and Hellraiser, those are my two main 80s Psycho Slash. Of course, like Megan is ride or die Michael Myers. She's an OG. That is her franchise. That is her guy. Huge tattoo on her leg. Like, that's her guy.
Well, see, I'm also a huge fan of the Evil Dead series, first of all. I mean, that is, also one of the greatest, especially Army of Darkness, because, like, I'm a huge fantasy nerd, too.
Nice.
And it's like the whole medieval sword and sorcery type shit. That tied into horror and comedy, you can't beat it. You really can't. No. And then, you got even the shirt you're wearing right now is a reference to Shaun of the Dead, which is also one of the greatest horror movies ever made.
You've got red on.
Hell yeah. I love it.
No, 100%, man. It's so much fun. And it's so funny with that movie. Like I was late, very late to the party on Shaun of the Dead. Love that movie. It's so fun. Actually I became a huge Simon Pegg like nerd thanks to that movie. I love Run Fat Boy. I love Run Fat Boy Run. I love How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. He's fantastic.
Yep.
The funny thing for me, what's up, DK from Kickin' Valentino? We appreciate you, bro.
Show him the beer.
Yes. Like my thing though, and it's funny because I think obviously too, like myself, as I got older, I realized that like when you take yourself too seriously, it's more detrimental than it is fun. And so when I was younger, I was very protective of the horror genre, and I didn't like parody. I didn't like things making fun of the genre because I took it like personally. Things that were really over the top, there were exceptions. I'm a huge like Toxic Avenger fan. So like I was always really into the Toxic Avenger, and I liked a lot. I was also, when it came to Trauma, I was also a big Class of Nukem High fan. I could appreciate movies like that didn't take themselves seriously, just like you said. But parody type stuff, I was always a little fussy about. For example, in music, I love Steel Panther. I think they're fantastic. They're a great time. I really enjoy them. But it took me a long time to get into them or really give them a chance, because being also a guy that outside of like goth and horror punk, I also grew up on glam metal. So I didn't realize at first that these guys I thought they were making fun of the genre, not like parroting, enhancing it. But then once I actually saw them live, and I realized what a great band they are, and I've been a fan ever since. And it's been 20 years that I've been a fan of that band now. Anyway, it was the same way. I had always
power metal has the same kind of concept. There's a band called Nanowar of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
And they are a power metal band that they take all of the cliches of power metal and then take a giant shit all over it. And oh my god. And for a while, I took the shit seriously. I'm like, dude, this is a parody band, like they're shitting on power metal. And then I actively started listening to them. And it's like, all right, they had the lead singer of Sabaton jump in on a Sabaton parody song. I'm like, that's all I need to hear. This is fucking great.
Yeah. And that was my thing with Sean, is like, I saw that it was signed off by George Romero, and I was like, okay, I guess that could be a thing. And that's when I kind of started chilling out a little bit, because like you were talking about with not taking yourself seriously, I'm a ridiculous nerd for full moon features. I think everything about full moon is fantastic. I was just at Creature Feature in PA last weekend in Gettysburg, and Charles Band was there, and I was so excited to meet him because like vampires are what I know best, and I love subspecies. Megan and I were talking about the movie Demonic Toys today. I love Ginger Dead Man, and like
I remember those.
oh,
Wow,
dude, Puppet
fucking
Master,
throwback. Yeah, I haven't heard anybody mention Puppet Master or Demonic Toys in probably 15 years. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who was aware of that.
No, not at all. Huge fan of everything that Charles does with there. I love the Killjoy series. I think that's super awesome as well. So I was super stoked to finally get to meet Charles Band and tell him how much I just appreciated his work. And he was just a really, really cool guy. You know, he signed my Killjoy doll and signed my little subspecies, little DVD and stuff like that. So I was like, this guy is super cool. And he's a really, really cool cat. You know, I love everything that Charles does. But anyway, yeah. So like, you know, and Shaun of the Dead is absolutely awesome. It's such a great time. Anybody who has not seen Shaun of the Dead, please go out and see Shaun of the Dead, because Seglock says so and because Sithis says so. But no, I absolutely love all that stuff, and I do love those movies that don't take themselves overtly seriously. I'm also a big like demonology guy, so like the Witchboard series, I'm a really big fan of. The late Tawny Katane and I were good friends. She was on the show as well in our early days. But like stuff like that, I think Insidious is great. Megan, not so much. She thinks that that's
couldn't get into it.
You couldn't get into it either?
Nope.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the modern horror movies, like the Annabelle ones and the Nun, I don't know. I couldn't get into them.
What do you think of I mean, it's part of the same universe, but what do you think of The Conjuring, or does it still kind of fall into that?
It also fell into one of those. I really can't. It takes a lot for a movie to keep my attention, and I mean that might be shitty on my end, but I don't know. There's something about like a lot of these modern horror movies that I can't invest myself into. I think the most recent horror movie I've actually seen probably would have been shit. I can't even tell you. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've actually seen like a modern horror movie. I wanted to see the new Five Nights at Freddy's, but I heard that was kind of a snooze fest. And I feel like a lot of these newer horror movies, they follow this formula where like the monster isn't something that's chasing people around. It's usually like their past trauma manifesting. And it's just the same formula that's just repeated and beaten like a dead horse, and it doesn't do it for me. I want to see a guy in a hockey mask running around hacking up a bunch of teenagers with a machete because that's what I grew up on. And God, I sound like I'm getting old. Am I getting old?
No, you're definitely good there. DK chimed in on the Charles Band conversation saying the Evil Bong movies.
Oh my God, dude. It has been years.
And Tommy Chong was at Creature Feature as well.
No shit, was he?
Yeah.
Wow. That's fucking I remember watching Evil Bong. I would have been maybe 16 or 17. It was like around the time I first started smoking pot. And you know, when you're a kid and you first start smoking pot, you decide you want to watch all the stoner movies. But that was definitely one of them.
Yeah, I love another movie that they did in the Full Moon World called Ouija's. Was really, really hilarious. It's about like a weed infused like Ouija board that would.
Oh my God!
These little.
I'm gonna look that shit up.
What's up, Jeremy? Thanks for hanging out with us, brother. He wants to know, do you like Pumpkinhead? Me and Shivers love Pumpkinhead.
I mean, I'm gonna lose some horror cred here probably, but I've never seen Pumpkinhead.
Okay.
I probably just lost like 30 horror points there, but yeah, I have not seen Pumpkinhead yet.
I'm sure we'll be able to find a way to do that, because, especially, because they've, Creeps has an Ed Harley song, which is a character from Pumpkinhead.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to get you caught up on that for sure.
Angel, I've seen Shivers with his face painted up like a pumpkin. Does that count?
We'll give you back some of your horror points there, man.
All right, cool.
There's a compromise for you there. Angel, my man, let's kick it back up to you for a little bit, my friend.
Yeah, sorry. Brian wants to know, what was the last movie that was released that you fell in love with?
The last movie, does it have to be a horror movie?
Nope. Could be any movie.
Oh man. Let me think. I mean, it's been a while. I would say shit, the last one released that I fell in love with. Oh God. I honestly don't have an answer for that. And I think maybe it's just because like it's hard for a movie to actually catch my attention. Beetlejuice 2 was fucking great though. I think that's probably the most recent thing now that I think about it.
That was
I love Beetlejuice 2.
That was in my brain. That's the one that I thought was thinking myself personally, because I was like,
yeah, because we went to see that on opening night. And for being like, 30 years later, I think they did a hell of a job. I think Michael Keaton was fucking phenomenal. Yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about Beetlejuice 2, so that'll be my final answer for that one. Yeah, we still got audio.
yeah, Angel, I think you cut out for a second on that last one.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
You a James Wan fan?
Do I have time to Google who that is?
Yeah. I don't know who that is
Hold
either.
on. Yeah, I've hold on. Let me actually look this up now.
Oh, James Wan. I think he's the guy who does like the Saw movies.
Oh, let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Did The Conjuring, Insidious. Oh, the Saw movies. Yeah, fucking when I was back in middle school, high school when the Saw movies were coming out, I was a sick and twisted kid, so I did enjoy the Saw movies a lot. But yeah, I guess it's also got like I'm seeing like The Conjuring and Insidious and stuff. Like I said, didn't get into those, but yeah, the Saw movies, I would say up until maybe number 4 or 5, I enjoyed them. But then like it's also once you've seen like a handful of torture porn movies, you've seen them all.
Pretty much. Definitely want to talk about your latest single, Viking Zombies from Outer Space.
Oh, do you now? All right.
Yeah,
we will talk.
Like 45 minutes in, and we finally want to talk about the new single.
We will talk about Viking Zombies from Outer Space. So that was actually one of the first songs that we ever wrote. And the whole thing was like at that point, we didn't know what direction we were going with musically. I came up with a cool riff that it gave me Amon Amarth vibes. Now, I'm a huge Amon Amarth fan and, Viking metal in general. And it's like I wanted a song where I could scream about Odin and scream about drinking mead and killing people and stuff. So that's kind of how that came to be. But then it's like, all right, well, if we're doing this horror thing, like we'll do the horror sci-fi. So there's zombies and there's aliens and all that stuff. And then that's basically what happened. And then we had originally recorded that song during the pandemic in 2020. We recorded, I want to say 5 songs. We did it in my basement. But then, we recently, as of last summer, 2 summers ago, I can't even remember, we went to an actual studio and started re-recording some older songs. And that was on the list because I thought it needed an update. So that song there, it's also kind of, it's an old song, but it's also kind of a hint at the direction that our music is heading now, because a lot of the newer stuff we're writing, it's more in the vein of like Viking folk power metal, like fantasy type stuff. So I figured out of all the songs that we recorded in the studio, that was going to be the last one to release as kind of hey, just a heads up, this is what's coming now.
Now, would you have an album coming out or just put out singles?
So all the singles that we recorded at Dark Side Audio, they've been released at this point. I would like to put out at least a CD of all shows to just sell the merch table. But now we are currently working on writing and recording a new album, and it's like I had said, it's going to be more metal. I think. I mean, we still have some punk songs, which we might do. The last couple of years, we've done these low budget punk style Halloween albums that we just record them in the basement. It's like they're fun, stupid punk songs. Like let's drop this as a CD, sell it at shows. Put it up on Bandcamp, all that stuff. But the new album that we are working on, it is mostly very metal. We'll put it that way. It is very metal. It's very melodic, heavy. I'll let you in on a little secret. One of the songs we're working on is actually, it's called Isengard, and it's from the view point of Pippin from Lord of the Rings when the orcs are dragging him and Merry out to Isengard there. So we're trying to tap into the whole fantasy mythology, that type of stuff, and we're having a lot of fun with it too. So that's gonna be what's coming in the future.
Brian, I think the end of Megan and Megan 2 will redefine horror. I know that a guy with a limp and 27 stab wounds isn't a threat, but modern fears are driven technology.
It's funny he mentions that because like I was just bitching today about AI and how much I hate it, and I kind of want to write a song about like how much I fucking hate AI. So that might have to be a thing.
Why not? I hate it too.
Yeah, I mean it's fucking a lot of things up. I think they should have pulled the plug on it 2 years ago, and it's still going, and it's out of control. Have you seen iRobot?
Just call it artificial idiocy.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, like you look at every movie that takes place in a futuristic dystopia, and it tells you that machines are taking over and AI is going to eventually be the enemy. Oh, another perfect example, Beast in Black. They dropped this album called Dark Connection back in 2021, probably one of the best metal albums in the history of music. But a lot of their songs involve AI and the dangers of it. So definitely worth looking into.
Yeah, I like Beast in Black. They're really good. I'm also a big Battle Beast guy.
It's funny because the shirt you're wearing, there's actually a picture of the bassist of Beast in Black rocking that same shirt.
Really?
Swear to God.
Nice. I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah, it's on the seglock Facebook page somewhere. I mean, I'm sure it ain't that hard to find.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, no, they're fucking cool.
Oh damn! I forgot my next question, but it's gonna come to me. Oh yeah, my next question.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the scenario for a horror movie. You got Backstreet Boys and Stink and Maroon 5 in the woods. Who would you hire to actually go out and hunt them down in a horror movie thing? Like, would it be somebody from Halloween, like Freddy Krueger?
Who would I hire?
Freddy Krueger, Jason.
So wait, is the goal Michael?
Michael Myers would be
Myers? Good. I mean, is the goal to have them all killed off?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, shit. I'm still. I would say it's a toss-up between Jason and Michael just for brute force. And, they can run, but you ever notice how Jason and Michael specifically, you never see them running. They will walk slow as fuck. Yeah. They will still somehow manage to catch up and take everybody out. So I would say, yeah, either Jason or Michael. Probably lean more towards Jason because he's Jason,
It's the woods. It's home base.
Yeah.
Do you have any more shows that are coming up?
Sorry, I kind of lost you on that one. What'd you say?
Do you have any more shows that are coming up?
Yeah. So far we have, I want to say, two that are currently set in stone. We're working on probably taking most of the summer off to work on the new album, but we have 2 weeks from this coming weekend. I think April 19th, we're going to be at Bar 13 in Wilmington, Delaware, with Nimvind and Evelyn's Casket. It's going to be an early show. Starts at 4 in the afternoon. I think it's over by 7. And then after that, we have May 17th at David's Outlook in Hanover, Pennsylvania, which, from what I understand, it's a thrift shop or a punk shop, but they have a stage area that they have bands play. So with that, we have Glampire is coming down from New York. We got them to come down and headline. Used to be Widows, I think. Before that they were Crypt Stripper. Great band, great guys. I haven't seen them since before COVID, so it's going to be some fun catching up. And then the Stranger Things are coming out after not playing for, I want to say they took a hiatus about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they were finally making their comeback that night. So yeah, the Stranger Things, Seglock, Glampire, and then of course we have our magician Ariok opening up, because we put him on board with a lot of our shows. He's great at getting the crowd hyped up. But yeah, that's I think the flyer's up on our Facebook page too. But yeah, as far as I know, that is all that we currently have booked that's set in stone for the time being. Then we're probably going to be working on some summer and fall dates here coming up pretty soon.
Now, can we get right back up to you, Jay?
Yeah, no problem, brother. So he's a PA guy as well. We spoke briefly of him when we were at American Legion. When Joe was playing with you guys, how did that relationship come about?
Oh man! All right, so Joe is seriously one of the coolest guys in the world. I love him. He's like a brother to me. The whole thing with that was Seglock originally intended to be a one guitarist band. That one guitarist being me. And towards the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, I had started developing serious tendonitis in both of my wrists. And it was actually at the point where I couldn't play. Like, there was a period for like maybe 4 or 5 months where I couldn't play guitar. Like, anytime I would try to pick it up or move my fingers like this, I would be in excruciating pain. And there was a point where it's like I almost said, okay, I'm just not playing guitar. I have to accept this. Thankfully, I'm back to playing guitar now. But no, I'd put out a thing where it's like, hey, we got a couple shows coming up. I am physically unable to play guitar. We need somebody who can fill in for these couple shows. And it kind of blew my mind when Joe was the one that hit me up, because, I had been to a couple Defiant shows. I'd talked to him here and there, and we kind of hit it off. And it's like, hold on, you mean to tell me that Joe Defiant wants to fill in for us? All right, cool. Let's see how he does. And he learned all the songs, and then those 2 or 3 shows had passed, and we were still in our early stages of playing every single show we were offered, because you're a new band, you want to get your name out there. And he kept he kept playing shows with us, and what was supposed to be 3 shows turned into 2 years and 20 some shows. And we kept going, and he was always there, and he was always just super fucking cool. And I still to this day appreciate everything he did for the band, especially with our sound, because after those 2 or 3 shows, I started getting back into playing guitar. And it's like, all right, let's see how Seglock sounds with 2 guitarists. And we were able to do so much more. I'm like, all right, this is fucking great. This is how it needs to be. And I think that without him, we wouldn't have moved in the direction that we've been going in with 2 guitars. So, yeah, just and then eventually he had stepped down because his life got busy. I respect that 100%. I totally understand. I've been in 2 bands before, and I get it. It's crazy. You can't commit to both.
Yeah. No, 100% for sure. When you look at the scene as a whole, and the, whether it be horror punk specifically, but also the infusion of bands, especially like Seglock now, with all of the different musical influences that you guys are tapping into. But when you look at the scene kind of as a whole, how do you look at its continued success? So there's always different branches when it comes to like musical genres and whatnot. But with something like this, which not only is the brotherhood of the actual bands in the scene has always been very strong and very vital, but a real loyalty and passionate fan base that has been very, very unwavering. Like, how do you see the overall horror scene continuing?
Well, I mean, I see it as everything's been done before, and there's not a whole lot of original, untouched territory. And I think that in a certain way, multiple scenes have been blending together. And I don't even consider like certain genres being as a single scene anymore. I think that the music scene is the music scene, regardless of what type of music you're playing. Yeah, I see the same people at punk shows as I see at metal shows. I see the same people at metal shows as I see at rap shows and deathcore shows. Like I feel like the love of music, it doesn't need to all fit under one single genre, if that makes any sense.
For sure. No, absolutely. Like my buddy Ron, like I said from my other show, like he'll go and watch a band like Wednesday 13, and then he'll go out the next night and watch a guy like Tech Nine, because
fuck yeah.
Because
I've seen Tech Nine. I've seen ICP probably about 6 times, and I wanted to go see him at Reverb coming up, but the tickets sold out like overnight. So
I saw that too. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I'm down with the Juggalos, and I don't care who knows it, man.
No, you're super cool, man. Like Megan's that way. She and Ron know more about the band than I do. The funny thing is like I'm an old school wrestling guy, and because I stuck very close to my genres just musically growing up before I started, sprouting out and checking out other things. I only knew ICP originally as wrestlers because I was aware that they had their own thing. But then I saw them in like WCW, because I'm also, no surprise to anybody, I'm very much driven in wrestling to like characters, as opposed to not only just, great, wrestlers or people that are just super skilled, so I was big, Raven fan, Vampiro guy. I grew up on bands, like Legion of Doom, Ultimate Warrior, Sting, both Surfer Sting and Crow Sting. Like I was drawn very dominantly to like characters. And so that also went with somebody like ICP when they showed up wrestling in WCW and WWE for a little while. I just thought these guys were wrestlers that did like a crazy clown gimmick. I had no idea that these guys were established musicians till I got clued in later about it. And it was all good. And I'm very cash when it comes to, ICP music overall. Like it's cool. I've got a lot of songs that like I enjoy, but like, I'm still kind of like cash when it comes to that. But but then I start, experimenting with bands like Twisted, which I think are actually a lot of fun because they really
I like Twisted's older stuff. So, I'm down with them.
Yeah, so when it gets into like stuff like We Don't Die and stuff like that is stuff that like is much more like
that was
my style.
We Don't Die. That was Black Lotus, wasn't it? That wasn't that the crossover thing between ICP, Twisted, and a handful of other guys or something.
Well, I know that song specifically considered, I guess, a Twisted song. Like if you look up Twisted on like YouTube,
Twisted
it comes up as like
ICP or some shit like that.
I think so, because they're still wearing like I think like the ICP, like the Hatchet Man, like hockey jerseys and stuff. But I think the song is, I think it is a Twisted song, but I do believe they were still part of Psychopathic before they went on to do whatever it is they do now.
Right. Yeah, no, I want to say I think I've seen Twisted maybe twice over the years. It's hard to keep track, but no, they put on a hell of a live show.
Yeah, I'd like to see them. I want to get another chance to actually see them as well. So I did go to a Twisted show, but it ended up being a show that I had to dip out early because I went predominantly for friends of mine, a band called Davey Suicide that was on the tour. And the funny thing is Davey's drummer at the time, Draven, went on to be the drummer in Twisted.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't think he's still with them. He might be, but I'm not totally sure. But his look was the white paint, but he did like the black X's like on his eyes, as
Okay.
that was his kind of thing.
Oh
But
wait,
yeah,
isn't Davey Suicide the guy that also does the tattoos?
yes,
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, a couple of my buddy, my one buddy got some ink done by him a couple of years back. So.
Oh, nice. Like, yeah, I got a friend, Mikey, who gets tattooed by him like every time.
Lawless?
That's the guy.
Dude, all right, so hold on. Let me tell you, Lawless is one of my best friends in the fucking world, all right?
Oh,
check this shit out, dude. I got his fucking, I don't know how well you can see that. I got his fucking chain right fucking there. That
he
fucking laser
still
cut.
owes me one of those.
Are you fucking serious?
I
Dude,
told
he
him
lives 15 minutes down the road from me.
Yeah, dude, I told him I would get it from. Oh no, dude, I know Lawless, Nancy, Jordan. Like,
Yep. Yeah, we played a show with Jordan's band Atlas at Hold back in December.
yeah.
But no, I've known Lawless for fucking years, like since back when he was in Pain.
Oh yeah, and I met Lawless for the first time pre-Pain when he had a band called New American Nightmare.
Yep. I remember New American Nightmare.
Yep.
Holy shit! Yeah, you want to talk about throwbacks? Holy shit!
Dude, when you mentioned, I have a buddy who's been tattooed, knowing you're a PA guy, I'm like, I'm willing to bet he's talking about the same guy that I'm about to name drop.
Nope. That's my boy right there.
Love him for sure. So if you talk to him before I do, let him know that you came on, because he's been on the show as well.
I'll send him a fucking text when we're done here.
Totally. He's gonna be like, what? Where was I? I should have tagged. I should have tagged.
He might be on tour right now for all I know. I know he's been doing a lot of shows with his solo career, and I guess he's been blowing up in that scene. So like, fuck yeah. He's
I know he has a show coming up. I believe I saw a post recently of
he sent that to me. I think it's in. Hold on, let me check. I know he just texted me the flyer. I want to say it's in like Harrisburg or something, isn't it?
I think you're right. I think it's at like HMAC.
Yep, it's at HMAC with what is that? Lex the Hexmaster, Beast Mode Division. Yeah, I mean that's April 11th. I might try and make it out to that. Actually, that sounds cool.
Nice. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I can't. April. Yeah, I can't do the one next week because I saw the flyer as well. That's the same night as the Wednesday show.
Oh wait, if it's April 11th, shit, I'm gonna be.
Oh no, sorry, not 11th. I thought you said 8th. My bad, dude.
Oh yeah, no, I think shit. Yeah, if that's next weekend, yeah, I'm going on vacation next weekend. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, next weekend, me and Megan and Angel are heading out. What's up, Shad? Thanks for the shout out, buddy. Me, Angel, and Megan are heading out to Nashville. We're doing the Rockin' Pod Expo in Nashville next week.
Oh, nice.
So that's
dude.
That's gonna be a really cool time. We got a really good collection of guests that we were given. So long story short, they put out they bring in a bunch of guests, and then the podcasts that are doing the show, you send in who you want to interview, and they do their best to give you who you wanted and stuff. And we got a really good one. Like, we got Brian from Kicks. That's going to be really cool. We got my buddy Ace. We got my buddy Ace Von Johnson from LA Guns.
Fucking nice, dude.
So,
hell yeah.
It'll be great to see my mate again. And we got a really good group of fans. The funny thing is, we didn't get the two people that collectively we wanted. So we were trying to get Brian Slagle from Metal Blade, because Angel really wanted to interview him, and I'm a big Lizzie Borden fan. So like all right. I want to talk to Brian for 3 hours simply about Lizzie Borden. We're still gonna try to link up with him if we're able. But the other person that Rockin' Pod brought in, who I desperately wanted and we didn't get him, but we're still gonna try to get some time with him, is they brought in Erie Vaughn, and I'm a big Danzig guy.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Dude, if you can get him on the fucking channel, dude, like there you go. That's fucking tits, man.
No, absolutely. Because the cool thing is, it's like, because Tracy, who puts on the show along with Chris, is like, hey, we're going to give you guys your lineup of who you're interviewing. But feel free to reach out to anybody. Like, you're allowed to do interviews like on and off site. You know, like if you want to talk to one of the guests and they're like, hey, if you want to come over to like our hotel room, we'll do it there. You know, she's like, no, absolutely. You guys can interview anybody that you can get. There's just going to be specific schedules that you guys are going to have to abide by, because these schedules are the same schedules that we're going to give, you know, the band, you know. So like, for example, like they're going to give Ace, like, you know, hey, you've got this show at this time, this, and then you close it out with the Metal Summit kind of a thing. So it's like, you know, just got to make sure that we do all of that. But no, I definitely want to give talk to him. John Christ is a Maryland guy, and I've seen John a lot over the years, and I just keep like not syncing up with him, but he's down to do the show, and I am super down for a John Christ conversation.
Dude, you're getting a hell of a lot of big names booked on here, man. This is awesome.
No, we're trying, man. No, we really appreciate it for sure. But also, Metal Summoners, on that note, because Sid, this has been completely awesome with his time. We're going to rock out a little bit longer because we're having a really great time, and we want to make sure we cover everything. But it is going to be last call for alcohol fans. Anything final that you guys want to ask him about what Seglock's doing, where they're going, or where they've been? We always will clear the board, but make sure that you get those questions into the comments so Angel sees them, so that way we can make sure that we cover all of your guys' questions. You guys have been awesome as always, and we really appreciate you supporting not only us, but more importantly, him and his band. So that's the best thing to do.
Everybody who came on here to watch, like, I cannot thank you guys enough. Like, this has been a great evening.
Awesome, man. Super stoked you've been having a good time. But Angel, let's kick it up to you, my friend.
With merch, would there be any new merch coming out?
You know, we would like to. We're trying to kind of downsize on all of the old merch, because for the longest time I've been making my own. I have a vinyl cutter here, so like the majority of the t-shirts and stuff we put out over the years I've made myself, but I'd like to have more detailed graphics. Like, all right, so the one you're wearing there that you got red on you one, that was straight up made with a vinyl cutter, where it's like I can do a single color graphic at a time and that's it. But no, I'd like to be able to do like bigger full color graphics, like a little more professional looking. So when that happens, I will be doing an overhaul of the merch website, and
read me the big picture.
Hopefully, yeah, there you go. But, I mean, yeah, hopefully by maybe like the end of summer, beginning of fall, we should have some better merch. I think I actually took the merch site down because of like inventory reasons and stuff, but
yeah, there was
we'll cross the bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, there was not much in it.
Angel, if you need a Seglock shirt, just let me know, dude. I'm gonna see them soon.
I will.
Yeah, right. I'll throw you one then.
I'll make that a thing for you, man.
For
sure.
a friend, not for me.
All right, just let me know. I got you.
Yeah, especially because we have a new logo now. So like that, where is it? That one. Hold on. There it is. That one there's been discontinued. So like I said, we're just trying to unload all the stuff with that on. We got a new logo about a year ago that's a little more on the metal side of things. I think it's actually the one you shared to promote this interview here. So we're trying to put that on a lot more merch now.
Oh, awesome. Cool. I'm always down for an updated shirt.
Yeah.
Because I'll still wear them all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, I would say every T-shirt I own is band shirt, and that's my entire wardrobe right there.
Yeah.
Same here. There's nothing on the boards, Jay, so I'm going to take it right back to you.
Cool, man. No worries. So, said this, you were talking about the plans for 2025, with, your shows that you've got right now booked, and concentrating on like getting out the album and spending the rest of the year in the studio. If you had an ideal time for when you would like the album to come out, is that something that you can like share with us at the moment?
I would hope for Halloween.
Nice.
And the thing is, we're kind of doing all this stuff ourselves. Like our guitarist, Skeleton Von Wolfgang, he has been learning the ways of the recording studio guy. Hell of a producer. He has come very far in the last couple months. And now it's like we're working on like symphonic backing tracks to go with like the newer stuff. And like really just stepping up the game like way further than just a four-piece band that's banging on instruments. We want to take it to the next level with like the theatrics, the atmosphere, just about everything. So yeah, I would say hopefully by the end of the year we can have some new stuff for you. Like I said, it's going to be in a different style. So I can't really say a whole lot until we have more of it done and ready to go.
For sure. No, absolutely, man. I think also we need to all collectively find a way that the next time Amon Amarth comes to town that you are playing their PA show.
Dude, I would love to, man. That would be that would be freaking wild.
Have you
Could
playing
you
in front
imagine?
of that giant Viking ship that they have like
Dude.
on stage?
I mean, at the same time though, why not just build our own giant Viking ship?
Yes.
I mean, I'm all right with that. Like, if we get to the point where we have the money to build these things and we're able to build big enough places that we can put these things on stage behind us, I'll put a giant Viking ship on stage. Why the hell not?
For sure, dude. So one thing I've also kind of noticed recently with some other bands that I've gotten to know over the years, that also probably bands that you might be familiar with or friends with as well, is like, we talked about like things like horror cons and stuff like that. And I've started noticing that there's a lot of bands that have been doing cons as like vending tables and stuff like that. Bands like Ice Nine Kills have done that before. There's a band that I'm sure you've played with or at least know because they're Pennsylvania guys also in Suicide Puppets.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know Suicide Puppets. I've known them for fucking ever. I love those guys. They're fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Twisty and Veritas have both been on.
Yep.
Yep. Those guys.
We've played with them. Shit, it's been probably about 4 years since we played with them, but yeah, no, I like Suicide Puppets a lot.
Yeah, and there's another band called American Grim, who I like those guys quite a bit as well, and they do a lot with like New Jersey Horror Con, and the SP guys were just at Oaks, PA for the Monster Mania Con. But anyway, the reason I kind of bring that up is something like that ever been something that you've kind of like considered maybe for like seglock to do? Like, of course, there's still an almighty dollar that involves, getting a table for an event like that over a weekend and whatnot. But for something like that, does something like that strike your fancy as kind of like a personal appearance type thing?
Well, I mean, we did something similar the last 2 years. Rock in the Ruins. It was a festival in Glen Rock, Pennsylvania. Myself and Sully from the Stranger Things, we put that whole thing together, and we did it 2 years in a row. We're skipping this year just because everybody's busy and we got a lot of life stuff going on. But I mean, that was your straight up spotlights on vendors that sell like oddities, horror memorabilia, stuff like that, and then you have bands playing all day, throughout the day.
Sweet.
So I mean, yeah, and it was free. It was great. We had a lot of fun doing that. But as far as like the actual cons, over the years we've gotten asked to do, I think, 1 or 2 conventions and like a couple things like Field of Screams, Jason's Woods and stuff. And honestly, I've had to turn them down just because the subject matter of a lot of our music, because like these are things that people bring their kids to, and I sing, a handful of songs about necrophilia and drugs and that type of stuff. And
Sure.
It's like it's one thing. It's like if you're going to a punk show and you see a list of the bands, you know what you're getting yourself into. If you're going to an event where the bands aren't the main focus, and you got your average person walking by and hearing me like with, oh damn, I don't know if the mic picked that up, but yeah, you're hearing some of the lyrics that are coming out of us. Some people might get offended, and then it just causes problems. So I'm thinking like once we have the newer stuff ready to go, it's a little less vulgar. I don't want to say it's family friendly, but more family friendly than the stuff that is typical staples of our set list, then we might
Sure.
consider doing some of these events.
Nice, man. No, I definitely understand that. And it absolutely, definitely makes a lot of sense for sure. Before we let you go for the evening, man, please let everybody know about your guys' socials. Where can Seglock music be played, listened to, and where can you guys be found?
Well, so all of our music is on seglock.bandcamp.com. There's stuff that you're not going to be able to find on Spotify or YouTube or iTunes or anything like that. I mean, we are on all the streaming services, but that's going to be the main place. I will be updating that with merch eventually. It's just like I said earlier, it's an inventory thing. But then we're on Facebook at seglock_official. That's Instagram seglock_official. We're on Facebook as Seglock. I think we're still on TikTok. We're on I think we're on Blue Sky too at this point. I don't know how often that gets updated, but we're everywhere that you get your music, everywhere you go on your socials. I don't think we're on Twitter, X. I mean, I have no interest in being on there, but yeah, that about covers it. But I do have a question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
All right, so in both of you guys' opinion, what would you say is the greatest metal album ever made?
All right. Angel, do you want to start, or
the single greatest metal album?
All right. So while Angel's thinking, I'll do some thinking of myself.
I gotta have my fun tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So
if it's a toss up between two, you can say two. I mean,
well, for me, like outside of, like I said, goth and horror, like, I've always been a big, like, glam guy, and I'm a big Motley Crue fan, and I always have been. So, like, when it comes to Motley Crue, like me personally, it's the Girls album, because I love the Wild Side song specifically.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
That's my ideal album when it comes to that. I know that for the overall success of that band, probably the average metal person is going to say something like, Dr. Feelgood, which is totally understandable with
right.
Something like that. But being that I'm first and foremost when it comes to that scene, a Motley Crue guy first, that would probably be my thing. But as far as like what a lot of people consider metal, I fucking love Cradle of Filth, and the Nymphetamine album has always been so important to me, specifically for the song Nemesis. But
okay, all right.
But you can run the gamut when it comes to that album anyway, with songs like Gilded Cunt, the Nymphetamine song itself. And there's also just so many, other great songs, like off of Thorns with, Temptation. But probably Nymphetamine with Cradle of Filth is probably my ideal just metal album.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Angel,
what about you?
I think your mic's acting a little funny again, my man.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
All right, I took care of that.
There you are.
There he is.
Toss up between the Motley Crue self-titled album.
All right.
Just because it's heavy. I'm glad they made that album.
With Karabi.
Yeah, the one with John. Yeah.
Yeah.
And damn it. Hold on. Pantera, the Vulgar Display album.
Okay.
That album.
All right.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
It's just kicking everybody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that is like I think that was kind of what started like the new metal movement to an extent. But yeah, that was the I'm pissed off and I'm gonna fuck up everybody in this room album. So fuck yeah. I can get on board with that too.
Hell yeah. Especially the story behind it was like $30 per punch for the dude that is on that album cover.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, just the fact this dude's just getting jaw jacked like 30 times by Phil Anselmo.
I mean, he got paid.
Yeah.
He got fucking paid. I mean, I feel like all of us have done worse for money.
Yeah. I mean, look, whatever it might have been. Okay, the Mad Shad chimes in with "Hell Awaits" by Slayer.
All right, yeah, fucking Slayer. There's actually a video of me somewhere pissed drunk in a porta potty, screaming Slayer at the top of my lungs and then throwing up all over the inside of the porta potty. I don't know if I don't know where I can find it, but it's there. It's floating around the internet somewhere.
It's in the Ethernet somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
no,
dude.
That's totally awesome, man. But okay, now we're getting some Deicide being thrown in.
Oh, fucking Ben Glenton.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna throw out a roundtable question.
All right,
the latest news. What do you guys make of Godsmack?
Okay, so I saw The Scorpion King when it came out, and I was probably like 9 years old, and I Stand Alone was playing during the credits, and that was probably my first exposure to heavy music. So, yeah, Godsmack, they do hold a certain spot, in my cold, dark metal heart.
I mean, I'm from Massachusetts, so like they're right there with bands, like Killswitch Engage, where I enjoy their music. It's fun for me. I get joy out of it. I am a casual fan when it comes to both Godsmack and Killswitch. I probably lean a little bit more towards Killswitch. They're just stylistically, they're a little bit more for me. But I mean, I've got nothing bad to say about Godsmack. I think they're great. I think they're fun. It was disappointing. Not disappointing. It was sad to hear that that Shannon and I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name, but that two of the members have left the band. But I saw a video that Shannon posted today where he's like, no, honestly, the two of us left the band actually last year after talking with Sully. Like, everything is fine. We did not want to tour anymore. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I
mean, they're getting up in age too. I mean, I'm sure they got lives, they've got families and stuff. I get it.
Oh yeah, I mean, Shannon is a Maryland guy. I mean, he goes back to Rothschild America down here in Maryland. Back when like the really old like Hammerjack stuff was going on. So Shannon alone has been around forever doing touring and doing music and all that kind of stuff. And I saw Godsmack play Baltimore a few years back with New Year's Day, and it was great. It was cool. So I was super stoked that I got to see Godsmack in the Godsmack glory. The funny thing is, the first time I ever saw them was actually a very short set that they did during the intermission of a Boston Bruins game I was at. And it was so funny. They were playing during the intermission of a hockey game. They came on and did Snake Voodoo and like a bunch of like other, like, it was like 4 songs during this like intermission. It was so cool because it was like,
but that had to be the coolest thing to see at a hockey game.
Oh, dude, it was so intimate but so rad,
right? Because
like you see, family friendly entertainment at hockey games during intermission,
right,
like that. And I'm like, and don't get me wrong, like the topics of Godsmack music isn't exactly what I would say the same topics as seglock music, but at the same time, Godsmack is still Godsmack. There's still a metal band singing songs still about like voodoo and stuff like that. Like,
and the fact that they're still going after all these years, I mean, like that says a lot.
It definitely does. So like, I always Yeah, I'm same with you. Like they have their place. Like I personally don't have anything bad to say about them. Right back to you,
But see,
Angel. Oh, so go ahead, bro.
No,
oh no, I was gonna say that's how I am with like a lot of like the new metal bands, like Mudvayne, Korn, Disturbed, Slipknot, all that stuff. It's like, especially like in the early 2000s when they would throw all these songs on like horror movie soundtracks, like with Resident Evil, Ghost Ship, all that stuff. It's like
Pretty
you always
versatile.
had these new metal jams on there, and it's like I will still listen to all of these songs. This is all on my playlist and stuff. I will jam out to this shit, even though up until like 10 years ago, everybody considered this shit like lame new metal bullshit,
Yeah, I mean like the soundtrack for Freddy vs. Jason is still top 3 in my favorite soundtracks of all.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let alone between Kill Switch, Spine Shank, and Murder Dolls alone. I mean, that soundtrack,
solid fucking soundtrack.
It's right there with Queen of the Damned as like one of my top
soundtracks
of all time.
Like, dude, that soundtrack is a whole fucking mood.
Yes, it totally is. And
it's like it's heavy and it's horny at the same time. Which that's what we're shooting for. So.
But it's also so funny too, because you'll go from all these different like singers, because you'll have songs being sung by Jonathan Davis, but then you'll have a song being done by David Draymond. Then you'll go to Jay Gordon from Orgy, then Marilyn Manson, and and they're singing all these songs that were all written by Jonathan Davis. It's like,
no, it was a solid fucking soundtrack. I think there was some Deftones on there too, wasn't there?
Yeah, that Change in the House of Flies song is
Yep.
And the funny thing is, that's the one song, and I really do chalk it up to my love for Queen of the Damned, because I really do love that movie. Is like, I'm not a Deftones guy. I like the earlier Deftones stuff is more my style, because they were still more of like that metal edge type style that they were doing.
They were horny Korn.
It changed into that more kind of mopey style. I just kind of lost my connection with it. But again, it's one of those things where sometimes a change in style benefits your band. They became bigger and played huger shows after like the I think it's called like White Pony or Stone Pony or something like that. But after that album came out, that that really was the jumping off point for them. So like, I can't knock them for it, but like it just really isn't really my thing. But Chains in the House of Flies, though, is the one song I can consistently listen to from the Deftones, because all I'm going to think about is Queen of the Damned.
Yep. And what was that? That was the bathtub scene, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh yeah, with Aaliyah and Stewart in the bathtub. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
No, 100% for sure. No, that movie is definitely sick. But I'll right back up to you, Angel. Is there anything final that's popped up from any of the Metal Summoners, or anything final from yourself, my guy?
Brian, I think you've seen Thomas the Comedy Viking.
Oh, Thomas the Red, fuck yeah. Yeah, I've seen Thomas the Red. He's fucking cool as shit. I've seen him at a couple shows here and there over the years. Yeah, super cool guy. I would love to do a show with him eventually. That guy's fucking awesome.
Yep, that's about it.
No, not a problem at all, man. Let's hit this, dude. First and foremost, man, we can't appreciate you enough for coming out and rocking out with us all night. And the most important thing to me and Angel always is that you enjoyed yourself, man. You had a good time. You felt respected. You liked the questions that were answered. And most importantly, you felt that this was beneficial to yourself or your band in any way.
Oh, no, dude, this has been fucking awesome. Like, it's been a while since we've had, like, an interview in general, but I mean, like, yeah, no, you guys have been cool as shit throughout this whole thing. So, like, I want to see you guys do more. And, if you ever want us to go on here again, even as a full band, if we're able to get all the guys together at a time that works, like, let's make it happen. Like, this is great.
Sounds good, man. No, definitely, for sure, man. Sith, what size shirt do you wear?
Somewhere between a medium and a large. I need to lose a few pounds to fit back into mediums, but if you want to throw me a large, I mean, I'm gonna hack the sleeves off anyway.
Hey, your shirt ended the same way. So
Yeah,
that's what,
every shirt I own, I hack the sleeves off immediately before I can wear it.
yeah,
So.
it was like I'm a small to medium guy like myself. I typically wear mostly mediums because I do so much surgery to them. So even when you were like, we've got one of those red shirts left, and it's a large. I was like, I don't care, dude. It's going to end up on the wrong end of a pair of scissors. I
Fuck
was
yeah,
like,
that's
it's
the way
all
to do it.
so, yeah, no sweat, dude. I'll bring one of those to bar 13, man.
Dude, fuck yeah, I'll rock that shit.
Dude, absolutely, dude. Thank you so much, man, for rocking out with us. We really, really appreciate you, man, and super duper stoked that you had a good time.
Thank you guys, Angel, Jay. You guys have been fucking awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, brother. That means a lot.
Absolutely, man. 100%.
You guys keep doing what you're doing, man.
Absolutely. No, 100%, man. And same to you as well, man. Definitely looking forward to having a good time. Metal Summoners, seglock fans, thank you guys so much. Your guys' interactions tonight were absolutely bitching. Great questions, great everything. We really loved having you guys involved. Thank you to the TMS alumni that showed up in force to support Sithis' appearance. And I mean, dude, it was so great seeing all of our friends popping up saying what's up and showing love for the scene and support for their colleagues. So that's been absolutely awesome. Make sure that you guys are following Angel at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram. You can also find him on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at Salem.vampire, and you can also find me on Facebook as well. Our friend Psycho Steve, our co-host, our brother, you can find him at The Real Psycho Steve on Instagram. You can also go to PsychoStevePresents.com, his actual website. You know that he works behind the scenes and comes onto the shows when he's able while he's taking care of his family. You heard it right here. Make sure that you're following Seglock on all of their socials, finding their music, listening to their music, and seeing what they've got for the 2 upcoming shows. And then, of course, they take their time to get working on their new album. But again, also make sure that you guys are following us and subscribing to us on both Facebook and YouTube when it comes to the Metal Summit, because that's where you're watching the interview right now. That's where you're being informed about everything that's going on with Seglock. But also, guys, make sure that you're following the Metal Summit on Instagram, because all of our guest announcements come out there first. But again, thank you so much, Metal Summoners, Seglock fans, and all fans alike for rocking out with us, having such a good time, and getting involved. We will see you guys actually in a little while. So Angel and I are going to be taking next week off from the Metal Summit because we're going to be going to Nashville to Rockin' Pod. So we will be coming live multiple times next weekend as we are going to go live with all of our interviews. We've got 10 current interviews lined up from the Rockin' Pod Expo, and that doesn't mean that we won't still have some more. But as far as a regular scheduled Metal Summit episode, we are going to see you guys in 2 weeks for that. That episode also has been confirmed. So in 2 weeks, we'll put out the guest announcement over next weekend for what you guys have in store for the Metal Summit. But we will see you guys at Rockin' Pod. And again, thank you so much, and make sure that you're supporting Seglock. Take care. Be good to yourselves. Have a great rest of your week and a killer weekend. We'll see you guys from Rockin' Pod in Nashville. And on behalf of Seglock, Angel, and myself, you guys have been awesome. As always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.